I come to you as a sea creature. I had to dress up for the most amazing lunation of this year. There is so much going into this, but I would say that the strongest thing that's occurring with this new moon in the crab is that it is in alignment with Sirius. And Sirius for us is considered to be a fixed star, when in actuality it is actually a huge place, I believe slightly out of our solar system, and it is so much bigger than our own sun. It is gigantic, and you have Sirius A, B, and C. But what, in a nutshell, Sirius is about, and I'll try to unpack it further along in the video, is that Sirius is our spiritual sun. With this new moon that is very fruitful, because the crab is at the same time the womb where the creation is ready to be birthed. So this new moon is the most wonderful moment to plant your seeds, to set clear intentions, because this new moon is a huge window of opportunity. And so this Sirius alignment is huge. It occurs July 5th at 22:57 p.m., so around 11 at night, GMT, so adjust to your local time zone. Now this is significant because for new moon moments, you need to do the wishes, rituals, intention setting, wishes after the lunation takes place. And that is in this case 22:57 GMT. So after that time, that's where the fruit is. But we could also argue, and you might give it a try, I don't know, that you could do it before this time, because there's something to say about doing it in the dark. And I mean, the wishing, the intention setting, since we plant seeds in earth that is dark, since the womb, where the biggest fruit of life is created, is also in the dark, perhaps we should do it actually before the time. Now, the reason why I say these two things is that traditionally people will tell you to do it after the new moon time, okay? But as I said, there's something to say for also doing it before this time. So take what resonates with you. The crab is a very sensitive sign. It is very psychic. It is where, obviously, being the first water sign in the zodiac, it is where the mystery of life is, starting to get unveiled. This is where, the energy of the mother, as I said, the womb, the breast, it's very feminine, it's very fruitful, it's very pregnancy kind of vibe. And it is where our intuition is starting to become our greatest power. So that's why I think you should trust your own gut. And gut is a very crabby word, as it is also about the stomach, and where intuition is like felt in the gut. So follow your own gut feeling, follow your own intuition of what timing and all of that. But I'll tell you, this is a very important new moon that we do not want to miss. So let's start at the beginning. It is a new moon occurring at 14 degrees and 23 minutes of the sign of the crab, or better known as Cancer, but I do not use that word. If you have any placements around 14 degrees and 23 minutes of the crab, or 14 and, well, you know, let's say definitely between 12 and 16 of the cardinal signs, so meaning also in Capricorn or Aries, where we find the nodes, and the south node in Libra. So if you have anything in the crab, Capricorn, Aries, or Libra around, let's say, well, because of the nodes, I guess we can say between 10 and 16 degrees-ish. And this is very significant for you if you have planets or placements around that point, okay? And if you have, I guess, anything around the water signs, so around 10-ish to 16-ish degrees of the, well, obviously the crab, but more so also Scorpio and Pisces, then this is another huge moment to make use of. So a new moon is always the beginning of a brand new cycle. It's a huge birthing energy, lunation wise. So it's the start of a 6-month journey. And so what do you want to begin? What do you want to start? What do you want to birth into your life? What are the projects or interests or wishes you have that you want to bring into your reality? This is a new cycle, fresh energies, just a new chapter in your story. So in the sign of the crab, as I said, it's a water sign. It is sensitive. It is psychic. It is about comfort. It is about the feeling of home and therefore security, about warmth, nurturing yourself, nurturing others. It's the sign of family, you know, so it's definitely the sign of oxytocin, hugging and kindness, and consideration of others. It's about sympathy, empathy. It's about protection. It's about belonging. It's a soft sign. It is about collecting things. You know, this is about home interior. This is making your life prettier and aesthetically pleasing. It is also a sign that looks back. It is a sign that remembers. That memory aspect makes the crab very nostalgic. The axis of the crab versus on the opposite side, Capricorn, is all about ancestry. These signs go back 7 generations. So that's another very significant thing that is going on here. So there's a lot of ancestral stuff we're working with, a lot of karmic stuff that I'll also explain when we move into what the Sirius alignment means. So it's about ancestry, lineage, what you inherit, but mostly through like traditions or cultures or DNA, or, you know, the family dynamic, and the stuff that is imprinted into your subconscious. Because the crab is the 4th house in the zodiac cycle and in the chart. So the 4th house is the deepest, darkest anchor of the chart. It's a very private place, and, you know, it's childhood. It's where a lot of the subconscious patterning is starting. So When we say crab, it is also very much about childhood and potentially childhood wounds and all that stuff that is in our subconscious mind, which I prefer to call the subconscious field. And when you call it that, it is easier to understand that it also involves like DNA or ancestral patterning that, well, goes beyond your own life, right? So we're talking mom and dad here, we're talking grandfather and grandmother here, and we're talking potentially 7 generations back. And roughly, I made a little calculation, my math is not that good, but let's say on an average, a person's age is, let's say 60, give or take, right? Not everybody turns old, unfortunately. So let's say 7 generations of 60-year-olds. Now my math says that that's approximately 420 years, right? Let's say some people become older. So somewhere around 400 and 450 years is 7 generations. That is a whole lot of time. And I guess roughly, if we go back from here, 2024, let's take the 24 as that bit above the 400. So approximately from the year 1600 on till today, do you even know your ancestry that far back? Do you know your family tree that back? Do you know what has occurred in your roots that far back? What occurred in your lineage? These recurring patterns of perhaps, you know, themes such as poverty or fatherless children, you know, being grown up without a father, or, you know, these very painful, I guess, traumatic occurrences that are often led back to many generations ago. So meaning that it has often plagued a lot of your family's generations, you know, generation upon generation. Why do I say that? Because I watched a lot of like BBC shows that, you know, is about going back to the roots. So they do these researches with famous people. And then you have also a program in the United States where, you know, they track genealogy and, as I said, family trees and all that. And the conclusion of those shows are that often themes are repeated. And that is because I have found in my personal understanding that if you don't heal it, you repeat it. So, you know, until someone says stop, often these cycles are just continued on, and they're so deep. You know, you might not know why you do that, why you attract that, why these themes keep repeating. So, you know, we're going down memory lane a little bit, but maybe not necessarily our memory, but just related to family and lineage. So what's so good and magical about the crab is that it is an intuitive journey. The memory is a sensation, you know, sensitivity, this feeling, this knowing that you receive. So hopefully this new moon can also bring you groundbreaking aha moments that just make you go like, and it stops here and it heals here. The water signs at the same time are very healing energies. just like the water, just like the ocean. It is cleansing, it is clearing. And, you know, this is a new moon, so this is a fresh start. This is where you can say stop, no more, no longer. I'm gonna change this trajectory by just putting out a very pure intention, and, well, even as mundane or simple as a wish, because I do believe, like Jan Spiller, the astrologer, tells us that new moons are very potent moments of energy. She calls them portals and like windows of, well, yes, opportunity, where if you work with that particular sign, and if you're more advanced in astrology, and perhaps at the end of this video, you will be, that you also incorporate the charts, elements, and the energies that make these wishes stronger and help you to realize them. And, you know, obviously a huge part of it is just believing. And obviously it's also stronger if you have something around 14 degrees of the crab, then this is definitely a portal for you. The crab feels the unsaid, it feels between the words, and it is highly compassionate. Feeling so much, thinking so much, or feeling so much for the other can obviously be quite overwhelming. So, you know, the crab is that where you may need to move into your shell now and then, move into your comfort space, your sanctuary, your home, to find that quietness, that stillness, to fill your cup again. And, you know, it's very interesting that Capricorn is at the opposite side, ruled by Saturn. Eventually, we need to learn the boundaries of, it's wonderful to be compassionate and empathetic. These are highly valuable, believe it or not, advanced characteristics. But we do need to know the difference between what is ours, what is someone else's, and where do we say sometimes no to take care of ourselves, because otherwise it's detrimental for health, right? So we want to soothe ourselves, we want to find the comfort, we want to be cozy, and we want to feel safe. We want to feel secure, protected, or the need to protect. And, you know, this is where part of it is retreating and protecting yourself energetically as well, because the crab absorbs so much energy and emotions of others, right? But safety can also mean other things, as in real, you know, right? In the sense that it could be security issues, or, but this is a new moon where we want to set the intention of feeling safe. And I will give you, I think, the most appropriate affirmation. And, you know, it's very simple, but it is drawn from Louisa Hay, who has taught me to say these simple words: I am safe. I am safe. And I think for this new moon, I give you this. Please remind yourself, especially in discomfort, but anytime it comes up, really, to say, I am safe. I am safe. Feel it. I am safe. So, the reason why the multi-layeredness is because 14 degrees is a Taurus degree. So the security and the safety element is enhanced. So we really are all about feeling good, feeling comfortable, and feeling safe, feeling protected. And the downside sometimes of the crab placements, because it is about childhood and right, the darkest part of the chart, the fourth house, ruling over, you know, for the first time in the chart, over the subconscious mind / field. It can feel for some quite the opposite of what the crab promises, or what the crab needs, or what the crab so desires. So it can unfortunately also come out as feeling very abandoned, very alone. You know, like you do not have that comfort of a family, of that warm, cozy sanctuary. And, you know, you may feel sometimes with crab placements that you are doing it on your own. Probably also a bit influenced by that opposition of Capricorn that also feels like it's doing everything alone. You know, it is not, but it's a real feeling that you have to move through. Maybe that is a generational thing too, that often people in your family have felt that they have to do it on their own. You know, we all kind of feel that to an extent, I think, because, well, part of it is being taught that you have to do it on your own, and that, you know, sometimes the road is tough, and, you know, it may seem like you do not have that much help. We could say it's part of the programming in a way. And also culturally, you know, we have moved away from home and family, and, you know, many people lead separate lives, or they hope to find it through friendships, right? Creating your own home and like the family you choose. And definitely, you know, that can really be very important. But I do think, you know, just that separation, that isolation, which is crab themes as well, just lower expressions. Yeah, it's a cultural thing that through perhaps individualism, which is very far away, removed from the crab, that individualism has maybe driven us to, you know, move away from kind of important things such as family. But of course, family does not mean that we tolerate toxic behavior by people just because they are family, or, you know, or these repeating patterns and just not say anything about it. Or that's, I think we're also here now after this massive individualism to redefine what family is, and that we do want that family, that anchorness in society, that, you know, that just feel good place where you can retreat, but just not only by yourself. That is not the thing. We are social animals. So as I said, this is the sign of oxytocin, of hugging, of bonding. Oxytocin is that bonding hormone. So this is not where we do it alone at all. We might feel it, but that's because we have to overcome it and redefine what it means to have a healthy family, what it means to have true, honest, pure coziness and warmth, and how bonding is advantageous. You know, actually neuroscientists say more and more about how important that bonding hormone is. It's actually crucial for our health. So I stumbled upon recently a very interesting video with the Diary of a CEO with Dr. Tara Schwartz that talked about the importance of the oxytocin hormone. And I believe she's more on the neurology side of science. And what she, well, discovered is that actually oxytocin increases even brain health. So I hope I'm allowed to paraphrase from that show, and I'll leave a link below if you want to watch it yourself. So Dr. Tara Schwartz said that, well, actually the Diary of a CEO presenter asked her about that, you know, if his girlfriend woke up early, they would sleep in separate beds. And you know, that's empathy, right? That's consideration, so she can sleep longer. And he asked her if sleeping separately is, you know, sometimes okay, and how's that work. And she responded amazingly, saying that actually you should not sleep separately because, you know, that bonding hormone oxytocin is so valuable that you share during, you know, sleeping in the same bed and hugging and touching overnight, that it actually heals your brain. So even if the, you know, quality of your sleep is less because somebody has to wake up earlier, it beats the benefits of, you know, the oxytocin benefits beat any of that discomfort always. So and I think this is a very crab story, that with this new moon we are set to make really true and pure intentions on what we want, can have more oxytocin in our lives, and how we can value that, how we can perhaps, you know, when we meet people that we care for, to hug and take that time to bond. And, you know, that physical touch that is intimate but not sexual is just so valuable. And we need to think about these things with this new moon in the crab. Also, because it's a Taurus degree, it's very much, as I said, about feeling good, feeling in the body, feeling empowered, embodied, bringing a lot more pleasure into your life, increasing that oxytocin hormone. And we can be far more aware of this because it's the behavior we can change that's so easy to implement this into our lives. So quickly looking at the chart, it is trining Saturn that is retrograde in Pisces. And this brings in, as I said, a bit of that boundary that we are required to have moving forward in our lives. So what feeling is yours, what's someone else's, and this is definitely about maturing emotionally. This is about healing deeply, healing that ancestral damage, I guess, yeah, just healing very deeply that subconscious field. And more so, there is a very strong presence here of spirituality, also due to the alignment with Sirius. But, you know, funnily, Saturn is a very serious energy. It is all about discipline, responsibility, and so we are focused to bring more spirituality into our lives, to have spiritual practices, to be practical about the spiritual life. That it's not just about wishing and believing and then, doing nothing or something. We have to really become spiritual. We have to do spiritual. We have to be motivated spiritually. We have to become very aware of the mystical, magical, unseen, energetic parts of life. And it means that we have to switch into the soul perspective of what's really going on here, and how can we better this reality and improve our experiences from a much higher perspective, obviously. And also, this is hugely creational, okay? This is where you can birth your dreams. This is where you can create and manifest magic in the sense of creation. So this is huge for any creative endeavors, projects, wishes, desires. So let's not forget that the crab, and on the opposite side, Capricorn, or this axis of energy, ruled by Saturn, that is trining this new moon, is about traditions. And usually it's, conservative energy, hence it's family and all that. But I think what we're doing here is we're creating new traditions. We care about conserving, but not necessarily traditionally conservative. The difference, because there is high value in conserving, so keeping, so valuing, and as I said, it's valuing love, it's valuing bonding, it's valuing empathy, it's valuing emotional beingness, spiritual life. So with this new moon, you are making new traditions. You are conserving what is important and valuable to you, what is absolutely the most worthy in your life, what is essential, and that is what you birth. That is what you set your intentions on. That is where you write and do your wishes around, okay? And of course, it's a cardinal sign, so there is also action. It's not just sitting around. These are, there are steps to take, things to do. And as I said, it's behavioral. So we change what we do, and ruled by the moon. The crab is ruled by the moon. This is about daily tasks. This is about daily experiences, our daily responding mechanism to things. So it is changing these little behaviors that go very far, okay? It's also sextiling Mars in Taurus, and because Mars is also sextiling Saturn, this is creating a talent triangle that they say between a trine and two sextiles. So Mars being here, as I said, it's about action. It's about motivations. It's about being in it for the long haul. Okay, we are committed to this new phase. We are committed to these creational, loving themes, to this coziness, comfort, and warmth, this sanctuary that we're going to create on Earth. That is what we're focused on. And we have all these ingredients about manifesting this, about bringing it down into tangible physical reality, okay? This is in our body. This is in our heart. This is in our womb. This is in our gut. We're here to now live it, to be it, to breathe this into our daily experience. So there's a lot of energetic support here, okay? And then there is, I'm going to pull it a little bit apart. First of all, there is, this new moon is creating a T-square to the nodes of fate. This is our destiny. This is our soul mission. This is what we are here to learn, to evolve, to move into. And that energy for all of us collectively is the North Node in Aries. And that means we're all called to be more confident, to take leadership over our lives, to, put yourself first, okay? Prioritize yourself, your needs, your wants. This is about being very passionate about something. This is about feeling very driven to follow your motivations, and it's just confidence and braveness. And sometimes Aries is called the spark of creation, as it is the first sign of the zodiac, representing the spring in the northern hemisphere, where a lot of lambs are born, and Easter is celebrated. So there's this birthing energy massively in the Aries sign as well. The crab basically being the same kind of energy, where it's about birthing, the womb, the creational, perhaps the feminine equivalent of Aries, since sometimes Aries is seen as the sperm. So once you move to the crab, which is the fourth sign, it's about being merged with the egg, and it's now being created, right? Perhaps the fetus or something, I don't know. What's going on here? Well, the North Node Aries is super important. We're all meant to follow that and to evolve in that energy, okay? And it's also a very direct energy. Like, if you have some beef, if you don't like something, express it, because you can clear the air, and we want to be as pure and real and honest as we can moving forward. Now, why is there a tension between the nodes then? Well, first of all, it's also about moving away from people pleasing, which is the South Node in Libra, moving away from thinking too much about somebody else, putting their needs first, and not knowing what you want because you always let other people decide for you, or you always ask for their opinions because for some reason that's your behavior. You just ask for other people's opinions, and it's become this behavioral pattern, right? So that we need to move away from, because the universe is saying that those are toxic traits, that you have to put yourself first. You have to fill your cup first. Now, and then the crab is, I feel, truly a balancing act between these two. Obviously, literally, because of the axis, right? But also definitely characteristically, emotionally. So potentially, the crab can be like Libra in the sense of over-giving, over-caring. But here, this new moon phase is clearly planted, squaring these nodes, because from here on, July 5th, for at least the coming 6 months, the universe wants you to operate from a strong self-esteem, from a strong sense of knowing who you are and that worthiness you have about yourself. Knowing who you are, knowing what you want, knowing what you deserve, basically. And then what we don't want is that Aries can become a bit insensitive and a bit harsh, maybe thinking too much about themselves, the egotistical side of it. And so crab is placed here quite in the middle to be like, let's keep it sensitive, let's keep it caring, but the crab has this perfect balancing act where it retreats, and that's something Aries and Libra do not do. They are overt, energies. So, you know, Aries goes after. And so, you know, it's outward energy. And so is Libra. It connects with others, it's social, it's talkative. And then the crab is more introverted. It's a feminine sign, right? So it's it retreats, it needs to do that. It is you know, aware of the flow of life, that you want to care, you do care, and bonding is highly, like, it's the most priority, like, it's the priority, right? The oxytocin, but and definitely security and safety, right? But that sometimes it's just too much for yourself, and you just need to lay low, be quiet, and, you know, move under the blankets, have a nice meal, which is very crabby, and also this Taurus degree, where this is about the good life, okay? This is about feeling very good. This is about feeling luxurious and rich, and but in the sense of wealth, okay? You want to feel wealthy. And so there is a retreating aspect in the crab that is highly beneficial, and it might feel a bit uncomfortable because the overall energy in the nodes are like, go out, do, begin. And also, we want to incorporate love, loved ones, our family, into the goals, into our new life. So that's also part of it. This is not a journey where we do it alone, not at all, right? And that's where I think it squares with the Aries, where the Aries is very comfortable with doing it alone, and it you know, it's easier for the Aries sign to just think of themselves. But the crab is here to remind us that we are fiery, we are passionate. This is heart-centered, loving energy, but because of that, this is not where we just do our own thing. We are considerate and we are kind, but we also know our limits with that. And I think we're also learning with this new moon how to nurture the self and how to protect yourself, how to feel good yourself so that you can share that more healthily with others, which is the point. And so this is called a cardinal T-square, because the cardinal signs are the signs that start the seasons in a year. So Aries is the first cardinal sign and starts spring. Then we have the crab that starts the summer. Then we have Libra that starts the autumn season. And then we have Capricorn that starts the winter season. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Right opposite this lunation, this new moon in the sign of the crab, almost to the degree, we find Ceres. Ceres is usually noted as an asteroid, even though she's a dwarf planet. Ceres is our Earth Mother, and Ceres represents grain, food, agriculture, and it represents nourishment, nourishing. She is the mother, right, as I said, of Earth, but she's also the mother of Persephone. This is a mythology that goes very deep, but I'll keep it simple, that her daughter, well, they cut a deal. Her daughter is taken into the underworld, but Ceres is very sad when that happens, and it means everything becomes barren, and nothing is fruiting in nature. So they cut a deal with Ceres, and half of the year her daughter Persephone is in the underworld, half of the year it's with her. And when her daughter is with the mom, Ceres, she's obviously very happy, and that is called spring and summer. And when her daughter is in the underworld, that is called fall, autumn, and winter. She's in the sign of Capricorn, and that's the winter sign. So she's not very happy. And this is where, you know, it could go either way. There's a bit of worrisomeness, and I think that just plays into knowing the astrology of the coming 6 months, because this is the start of 6 months. We don't have easy astrology coming up, okay? I'm just going to be frank. Too much to explain, so I cannot do that. But perhaps I can give you a few details. There's an incredible, difficult full moon mid-August. There, I believe, is also pretty difficult lunar eclipse with Neptune mid-September. Then we have Mars going retrograde in the Crab, which is this new moon. And yeah, you know, Neptune moving to the end of Pisces in 2025, together with Saturn moving into Aries. Oh, and let's not forget that in autumn season, so after summer, Pluto moves back into, maybe around the summer, moves back into Capricorn, 29 degrees for the very final time. So yeah, that's a lot of heavy, destructive, potentially destructive energies, and I think it signals massive changes, and these all can play into security issues. Also significant because of that Mars retrograde. Sirius has that potential of showing perhaps some of the difficulties that we might face in the coming time. This could indicate, quite literally, you know, just not so good times in nature, that maybe there are difficulties with agriculture, that there are difficulties with the food supply chain, specifically grain probably, because that's what she rules over. So Ceres is not only quite literally opposite this new moon, it is also creating a grand cross, a grand cardinal cross with the nodes, and that is massive tension because we're talking 2 oppositions and 4 squares. Okay, that's all very stressful, very uneasy energy. It feels like we are tugged and like pushed into several different sides, and we might not know how to operate, and like feel confused because we're pulled into different energies. The cardinal sign is, as I said, the beginning of season, so it's a huge beginning energy. It's a very powerful momentum in that sense. Even though it can signify problems in nature, it is also, I believe, as a higher expression, just this massive need to focus on Earth. We need to value Mother Earth. We need to incorporate this grand, fruitful planet that we are living on in our intentions, goals for this new moon. Literally, we have to do that. We have to value and honor Mother Earth, or else she will make us barren and, like, you know, foodless, and potentially a lot of sadness and like grief and pessimism that she can bring as well. I think the more we are able to understand this magic that Mother Earth is, and really value and honor her in every way, daily behavior, okay? So hug your trees, be grateful for the food you have, pray over your food every night. This is not a religious thing, okay? This is a gratefulness thing. And if you are religious and you already do that, that's great. But I'm just saying that it doesn't have to come from that perspective. It's just about gratitude. And it's time that we really value the earth we are on, because it is beautiful and magical, and we take so much for vain. And Ceres, I feel here, is saying, if you take me for vain, if you take this and not value it and not treat me with, you know, the respect and honor I deserve, I'm gonna hit you hard. And she can, she will. And we will feel it with like not nice things. So this is where we are kicked in the butt, and we need to do and change our behavior, as I said. This is realistic, practical, behavioral differences, as I said. Pray over your food, be grateful, feel into the wealth that you already have, be grateful for everything you have, or even if you don't, twist it around and express gratefulness. You know, take care of your garden, and if you don't have that, take care of your environment. Obviously don't litter, but maybe this is also an active moment of like, you know, I don't know, taking care of nature more. That's the bottom line, I think. Now back to the cosmic, huge cosmic alignment. Because this grand cardinal cross also indicates another cosmic relationship. This Ceres is aligned with the constellation Lyra. So Ceres is literally aligned with the fixed sign Vega, that is in the heart of the Lyra constellation. So around, well, it's opposite Sirius, so it's exactly where Ceres is at 14 degrees of Capricorn, 14, 15 degrees. And this is all, you know, what's so interesting about the Lyra constellation and the Sirius star system is that they say that humanity is originated from these two, well, cosmic energies. So around this time, July 5th, you could receive massive downloads about this cosmic truth that we are becoming more aware of, that we're able to tap into more, because our awareness is increasing, and we're slowly understanding that there's more to it, and that you know, there's more to the origin story. There are many indicators that humanity is embarking on this chapter where we're starting to really learn what it means to be human, and where it comes from, how it was created. And I'm not taking away from God or the ultimate creator, just to be clear. But, you know, obviously the creator or God also created these constellations, okay? So that's a different energy. I don't want to offend anybody, and this is not my view at all as well. So, you know, there's an overarching creator energy, and there is also a creational story of humans. And these go hand in hand. They are not different stories. So if it's true that humanity was created by Syrians and Lyrans, or maybe Lyra, and somehow, I don't know, adapted in Sirius or maybe placed on Sirius. There's a connection between the two, and I don't think it's a coincidence. They are on the same axis, only in oppositions. So obviously it's very hard to understand what's exactly going on here. As I said, maybe humans were created in one place, put somewhere else for some reason. But slowly we are receiving little drops of information. And if this is something you're interested in, this is the time to receive massive downloads around these highly intelligent, high awareness information. So just on a note, Lyra constellation, and so Vega, is about music. So we can also, music is also a different name for frequency and vibrations, right? So healing Mother Earth is also through sound. And what we can do around this new moon and the coming 6 months is also to sing more, okay? Obviously use kind words and really be more aware of higher vibrational actions, behaviors. And so we can use sound more intentionally. As I said, the easiest is to sing, or like use sound bowls. I was actually inclined to purchase one myself, and I think I will around this new moon, because it's really important to use sound. The problem with online stuff is you do not know how pure it is. So yeah, working with high frequency matters, and that can also be aromatherapy. That's also very high in frequency, specifically if you have access to rose oil. That's a very high frequency, which is Rose damascena. That's a botanical name of the most highest frequency in rose oil. And I think that taps also into the new moon crab energy, where, you know, it's that oxytocin kind of frequency, the love frequency. And also frankincense is pretty high in frequency. So we have to think in terms of frequency and music, okay? That's where Sirius is at. That's the Lyra Vega fixed star. So right opposite the Lyra constellation and the Vega fixed star in it, we have, right on this moon, we have Sirius. Okay, this lunation occurs at 14 degrees and 23 minutes. Sirius is at 14 degrees and 25 minutes. That's, well, almost a perfect conjunction. Now, what does Sirius mean? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. It actually involves my favorite Harry Potter movie, that's about Sirius Black. I think it's the third book and movie. That's slightly a joke, okay? But truly, what is Sirius about? Sirius is our spiritual sun. So just like this trine to Saturn, we are called to connect to our spiritual aspect. Just like I said with the crab energy and the Capricorn energy, that it's about family and lineage and traditions and conservatism. The Sirius alignments also shows the need for strong connection to ancestors and past time. So in other words, history. And as I said, it's probably about not only the history of humanity, but perhaps also history on Earth, and tapping into what's possible on Earth, the wonders and magic of Earth, and how to master that, really, but not in the sense of being above it, but to work with it, to benefit not only humans or beings or whatever we are, but also Mother Earth herself. We cannot just abuse and overuse her. That's not the way. That was never the way. So, a Sirius alignment, which occurs usually on like July 4th or 5th every year, or 6th, is always every year a collective reset. You know, in ancient astrology, it was always looked at this alignment with Sirius every year, because it is said that a new karmic cycle starts. As I said, it's about lineage, right? So karma is also about what comes from the lineage or past lives. And interestingly, truly, I heard, I was reminded recently, something I knew but I had forgotten, that karma is about balance, right? And the nodes show this. And all these axes in astrology show this, that there's a need to balance energies. And so there's a karmic reset every year with the Sirius alignment. But hey, this year it's in a new moon exactly. So it's a very powerful reset collectively and personally. This is to reset everything. This is where we can really bring in the much needed aspects of spirituality, of love. Very high expressions of these themes, and especially the love for home, family, loved ones, but also nature. The ultimate love place for us right now. A Sirius alignment is always about intention setting. So is this new moon. It's about wish fulfillment. So is this new moon. It's about technology, technological advancements. So you could really also have a lot of ideas and concepts about ways to move forward. It's about sacred transcendence. As I said, it's the spiritual sun, so it's a kick in the butt to really, move on up energetically and understand what sacredness means. Sanctuary is sacred, so that's the crab energy as well. And so is it the Pisces energy that is trining this moon to Saturn. So our karma is being healed. Our karma is being reset. So now it's up to you to move it in the direction that is the most beneficial for you and everyone around you. So that is where I end this video, and everything is getting darker, and I think that is so meaningful because the new moon kind of takes place in the dark. Let me remind you that it is a fertile moment, that this is intention setting, wish fulfillment kind of energy. I think it's pretty clear that it's about love, and that we need to change our behaviors, our actions, our everyday responses. That we are at a crossroads, quite literally, with that grand cardinal cross, at a crossroads where we need to honor, love the sacredness of Earth, and of all the joys that it brings. So take a moment with this new moon to be a little bit more quiet and still, to feel what you feel. Write down what you feel, because it's probably very valuable information with that Sirius alignment. And yeah, may your wishes come true. May it be beneficial for all of us here on Earth and the cosmos around us. This is a very important, probably the most beautiful new moon this whole year. So I hope you use it well. Have a good one and enjoy. Feel good. And I wish a lot of love for everybody. Happy new moon in the crab and happy new moon on Sirius. Bye.